Hi guys, I'm Cheryl. I'm an enterprise growth lead here at Cookiy AI, and today I'm here with a few esteemed guests. Some of them are my colleagues, and we also have Oscar here. Maybe what we can do is a round of introductions before we start this little podcast.
Yep.
Yeah, starting with you, Oscar.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Great to be talking about this today. So my name is Oscar Carlsson. I'm the founder and CEO of Milo Advisory. So Milo Advisory is an advisory company focused on the rest tech space, working with different tech startups and with investors investing in the space and trying to figure out the landscape. So for me, it's exciting to talk more about Paul for AI. It's really a hot topic right now.
Awesome. Thank you, Oscar, for coming. And hi, I'm Davin, YC Dong, and I am the founder and CEO of Cookiy AI. Previously, I was an early member of Instagram and then Tencent and then TikTok, and I hold technical background from computer science in Joven, Michigan.
Hi, my name is Joven. I'm the VP of Global Business and Insights here at Cookiy. I have about 15 years of experience in this space. I was previously from Nielsen, and then I moved on to Statista, and finally to Cint. And together with Davin, we went over to Palo Alto to start this venture. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys for the introduction. So I think as we all were talking about AI earlier at IIEX, so I would say the podcast is quite similar, but I think we want to get the perspectives of Oscar and also you guys, Joven and Davin. Yeah, so the podcast is all about how AI is reshaping the research industry right now. Okay, so given that we are living in a world where there's lots of data tools available, I think ultimately we want to be able to use AI solutions properly to elevate what we're doing traditionally right now. So given that there's a lot of expectations in the market to kind of accelerate, right? Given that I think you must have heard this, right? Like clients are asking you to deliver this faster, let's do it cheaper and things like that. So maybe I want to understand from your perspective, how do you think expectations have changed given that around customer insights as business cycles actually accelerate?
No, I think the main thing that changed is that people start realizing that with new technology, there's new opportunities and new ways to do things. So I think the main thing, traditional research has been done by research teams, agencies, but now other parts of our business are figuring out, oh, we can actually do things a bit quicker and faster. And they're starting to thinking, how can we do this working directly with different tools out there now? Things that was sort of the promise for DIY research in the past, but still was a bit too complicated. But with AI, it comes with promises. So I think there's different expectation now for businesses.
Yeah. And now I feel like more than ever, if I'm still working in a corporate company working on the B2C products, I will be more concerned that what if I send out the surveys, but it's actually the AI users or the faked users, faked devices taking those surveys just for the sake of faking money to making money from us, right? So nowadays I will be more like caring about the authenticity of the respondents. I want them to be true respondents that can actually share their authentic feedbacks. I want them to be actually talking to me, not just by typing or like selecting those like kind of quantitative like normal surveys, which is easily to fake. So that like falls into the principle and philosophy of our core company's value.
For me, I've spoken to thousands of clients because I'm front facing, right? What I notice is, trends are moving so fast today. TikTok trends usually last like what, a week, 2 weeks, and by the time insight sits on our table, there's nothing much, the researchers or the businesses can do anymore. So I guess the need when it comes to faster insight actually comes from the market itself. So it's a reflection of what the real market is, the requirement and needs, more rather than just a buzz or hype. I guess when it comes to AI and research, it's very different from other industry where they are adopting AI.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think, yeah, I definitely hear you guys, right? Data security is really important, and of course, with all the different tools out there right now, the expectation has risen, right? We are expecting people to deliver insights a little bit faster. We need to be able to catch on to trends a little bit faster. But of course, there will be some sort of friction, right, when it comes to like adopting these sort of solutions, right?
Yep.
So what do you think? Where do you see most often this friction actually happens when businesses need to move really fast, while traditionally insights take a lot of time to develop? Yeah.
I think to me it's a lot about control. So traditional researchers or even commercial teams, they still want to have control over the process, and they're a bit afraid that AI will take over and it's a black box, and you don't really know how research is produced and so on. So I think what's really key when I see look at different software out there is that you still give some sort of sense of control to the user, that things are automated, you can get ideas and so on from the tech, but still you want control and you have sort of final approval that this is actually the objective, and I want to ask and sort of how insights are generated. So, and that's probably a process. Initially, you need more control, and then you start trusting the tech more and more, and you allow the system to do more for you. So it's an evolution. You need to take the users on that journey to start trusting the tech, and then really adopting the tech and then using it day to day.
Yep. Thanks, Oscar, for mentioning the keyword of control. That is actually fall into our core principle. We want convenience with control. Think about the cursor, think about Canva, think about Figma. These kind of professional tools, they do not replace the professional workers, the programmers, engineers, the product managers, the designers. They enhance them. We are holding the same philosophy. We want to build the product that can enhance the product teams, enhance the user researchers, enhance the agencies that use us. That we want to provide convenience, save their time, especially in those kind of transcriptions, writing reports, getting all the quotes, these kind of tedious work. AI does all these for you. And even in real-time conversations, AI help you as a co-pilot to help you keep tracking all the checklists that you have to ask the right questions at right time, remind you to have not something that you shouldn't forgot, something like that. For these convenience, but also with control, our product can do something like you can interfere the interview in real time. You can control the AI to change in real time about anything, like discussion guide, the report, the video clips, the PowerPoint decks. You can command the AI to change everything you'd like to. That is our philosophy, and we reflect that into our product. And Joven also has some data on that.
I mean, it feels like you guys have already said everything that I feel like saying, but let me say things that's a little bit more punny. As ironic as it sounds, right? We thought that AI is here to bring you all the convenience in the world, but as a matter of fact, after speaking to so many users, after speaking to so many clients, one of the most important factor here is trust. And as surprising as it sounds, control is what builds trust. And as AI innovates further, it seems like people are asking for even greater control.
Yep.
Which is pretty wild, right? So today at the event, I love to use this analogy. We are the Iron Man suit, the AI is the Iron Man suit, and we as the user is Tony Stark. We have the intuition, the knowledge, the ability, the EQ to kind of prompt it. So my favorite sentence right now is, the future of the world depends on how good you can communicate, and not so much about how good you are with your hands on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. I think like what you say, right? AI is going to take over the world. You know, it makes people a little bit scared as well, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes we can't fully trust the output sometimes, right? Given that, you know, it might run wild, it might not have a lot of context, ultimately with a sense of control, right? And of course, you know, people to trust it, right? This is, you know, it takes time to build that kind of trust. But of course, with a level of control over the product, this helps researchers or any end users of these AI tools to kind of trust it a little bit better. Okay, so with that, right? So earlier we talked a lot about like speed, efficiency and things like that. I want to get your take when it comes to introducing AI into the qualitative research space. Right? How do you think that changes how insights are being produced and used?
I think introducing AI into qual really enables you to do more sort of qualitative in a way. So you can do more interviews with more people. You can automate that, and you can really analyze the data at scale and get more contextual data. So quant is great. I'm from the quant world. Quant is great. You can interview a lot of people, really efficient, but it's pretty much filling out a form online. But you miss some of the sort of sentiments and so on, which you can get from qual, which is really interesting. I think you mentioned as well the fraud aspect, where you see it's actually a real person. So there's a lot of powerful things that you can do with that. So that changes sort of how people collect their insights from quant, and sort of they merge it. To me, I don't want to separate qual and quant. It's probably the same thing, but it's sort of more enriched that we're getting, and we can automate that, and we can really make sense of sort of that vast amount of data.
Yep.
Right.
Cool. And if we break down the traditional call workflow, you'll see that traditionally a discussion guide generation will take about 1 week. And then we find another like 1 to 2 weeks for the recruiting. And then we take 3-4 days for a 10 to 20 people interviews in a row. And then for the final reporting part, depending on how picnic the client is, it might be take up to a month. So what AI could increase the efficiency, the potential here is huge. And many other AI for research companies are already talking about these benefits. But what else AI can do is to further increase the quality of it. For example, if you use like Zoom transcriptions for the transcription and the translation, you'll see that Zoom translation only capable of translate what exactly being said, but not with the context of the whole discussion guide, the whole objective, the whole topic you're talking about. That is how we develop our AI in a different way, even for a small, like sounds small, a transcription feature. Not to mention, like our AI could dig deeper enough into the facial expression analysis, the tone analysis. That think about it. When a human interviewer interviews the respondent, the human interviewer, their brain don't have such good memories in terms of memory every possible expressions, every possible tone change, right? And they have to keep the conversation on, so their mind cannot compute like in real time about the next best question to ask, what that facial expression and body movement means, right? Think about what if our AI is adopting multiple models at the same time, observing this person and thinking at the same time, so that we have huge amount of data input, so that we can generate much deeper insights. And by the way, it's way faster than before. So better quality, higher efficiency, deeper in insights, and faster in the turnaround time is what we believe in and what we've already built.
Yes, yes. Since you guys have already covered most of the thing, I'm going to focus more on the pain points. With Cheryl and I was ex-colleague back in Nielsen, and I'm a lazy person. I'm a lazy researcher. I want to find the fastest way and the most efficient way to do everything. So when I joined Davin and tried to develop a product, the first thing that comes to my mind was the times where we were, listening to recordings at 0.5 times the speed, trying to type out word for word verbatim, but for verbatim for like what? Couple of hours straight. It's absolutely painful. And then after that, we need to start translating because I speak a couple of languages as well. And then you have to translate by hand. You can't do Google Translate, it lost the cultural nuances in the past.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons why as well. So before we actually ventured into this, it's quite interesting. We actually took a step back. Instead of trying to think of what we can create, we actually run a couple of studies. We observe the observer by observing the action moderation session.
Yep.
And then we'll try to integrate. And try to think very critically. Why do we need a one-way mirror to begin with? Right? Can't we just record and then listen it and pass?
Yeah.
Right? There must be a reason for it.
Right.
Why are we recording every verbatim if we're already recording it? What's the goal and purpose of this kind of things? Why can't we do it faster? Right? And then when we try to develop a qualitative report, we have to throw everything out, every word, every verbatim, and try to make them thematic, which is, it's fun, but it's also painful.
Yep.
Right? Or I've done multiple in-home visits before. We have to take a long ride when the traffic is super bad.
Yep.
Right? I remember going down the car and walk to the respondent house. It's absolute pain. So when we develop this product, all these pain points surface.
Yep.
That's why we have like a screen sharing mode. We have in-home visit on online perspective.
Yep.
So you can see that the way we are creating this product, the way we are changing things is a bit different. It's more about how Davin can bring in the technology side of things,
Yep.
and how he can solve my pain point as a human. Yeah.
Yep.
I think we have really evolved a lot since then, right? Listening back to transcripts on like
Yes.
0.5 times speed, and like a lot of the traveling that takes place with regards to qualitative research. I think I like what you also said around the fact that you can actually, let's say you're moderating a session, right? There are a lot of different things that you might not necessarily capture. For example, like how they always look, like the expressions and things like that, because you need to stay focused on the conversation.
Yes.
But you did mention something around emotional analysis, right? So
Yes.
I see multiple layers, right? So it's not just efficiency, but it gives you a higher quality output, more rich output to kind of like inject into traditionally qualitative reports.
Exactly.
Okay. I think we've said so many benefits around AI right now, right? But I think we also need to see what's happening right now within the market. So maybe can we see it from the lens of like business leaders of different organizations? Where do you think what are the common barriers that people mention when it comes to adopting such solutions? And why do you think that's the case?
Yeah, the barriers. I think yeah, people are sort of afraid of taking the first step to try something out, and I see that a lot. I talk to research organizations, and they talk about AI. They create some sort of strategy, but then you ask them, "What have you done?" Yeah, we tried ChatGPT. It's like, okay, there's more out there. You still need to sort of test it out, experiment, do things. And I think just taking that leap of faith and testing things out before just going full in and adopting, just learning and so on. And I think how can I apply this on my business? How can it help out? And then figure out what are the actual objectives that I want to sort of improve.
Yep.
Is it internal efficiency? Is it sort of additional insights that you can gather? Where is it that you really new revenue streams and so on? And really sort of figuring out exactly what do I want to achieve, and then figuring out who's the right partner to help me get there. And I think also when you try things out, you sort of understand, okay, I can probably change my behavior a bit, because traditionally organizations are a bit sort of stuck in how they do things. They have sort of annual plans, research plans, this is how I do things, and then you wait for that to happen and so on. Where in reality, we have a need for sort of more continuous insights, which we talked about, which really you can gather a lot quicker, and then you need to change sort of how you work and how you adopt things. But to get there, you need to sort of explore and understand and experiment. Yeah.
Cool.
I'll try to use an analogy that think about Tesla. If one day one person tells you that, okay, you need to get off your seat and let AI to completely take over your driving like a steering wheel, will you do that? No, you will not, because you do not trust the AI to do that completely that for you before you test. And in core research, it's essentially the same. Like you spend so much money and time and energy to recruit the precious respondents, and they are hoping to have a deep conversation with you, right? And you don't easily say that, hey, I'm lazy, I want to save cost, I want high efficiency. AI, do that for me. You won't do that, right? Not like from any perspective, you won't do that. And there are just so many AI for user research companies claiming that, okay, AI is here, we built this AI moderator, and we can completely like replace your human moderation and we can save you time, something like that. But what they do not comprehend is the necessity of the human researchers to be in control of that process and to be involved in the whole conversation in order to like get the results and like feel safe, right? And what our approach is actually very, very unique, and it's our secret recipe. We still encourage human researchers to take control of the whole process with AI observing and learning from you. And over the time, when you can confirm AI is already like mimicking you in a very, very good way, like 95%, you will happily and confidently delegate this part of work one by one to AI. So that is our approach, and that is appreciated by many actual professional researchers and product managers and product teams.
Wow, you guys keep taking all my words from me, right? Pain points. I guess we have to be very honest here, right? There are things that AI can do, and there are things that AI can't do. One thing I observed from going for multiple conferences, and it's pretty alarming, is I've observed a lot of leaders or AI pioneers in this space sharing things that is not highly validated, right? And it's very alarming because it kind of misrepresents the industry, which creates a lot more backlashes, resistance when it comes to AI adoption. And so, in my own opinion, so I might be wrong, we should embrace the problems head on rather than trying to circling around it. What do I mean by that? If companies or users are saying that, hey, what's your data privacy policy here? How can I guarantee that your AI won't share data of mine collected to
Yeah.
my competition?
Yeah.
Normally typically people would just, let me get back to you on that. Oh, we are GDPR compliant,
Yep.
and that's it. I think we need further that kind of explanation, like what sort of LLM that goes behind each agent.
Yes.
What kind of true test are we running?
Right.
What is the limitation of tokens it can compress?
Yep.
Like, all this kind of information is not properly communicated, and I think it's essential for leaders in the research space not just to continue hone their research skills, but also start understanding the AI space,
Yep.
AI and technology space, so that the next time where they hear someone saying that things that doesn't align, they know that this is, I need to get out of this place immediately.
Yeah, I think you're talking about educating the buyer so they
Exactly.
understand what's the difference
Education
between this
It's
and
key,
that,
it's key.
right?
Yeah.
It's key, and also I think critical thinking, and that I think I see difference in my generation who grew up before the internet and all that, or we understand sort of how things came and so on, but the young generation that's AI first, they have no critical thinking on the responses you get. Like do a Google search, read the AI overview, and but is that correct? Check the sources. Is it actually getting things correct, right? So to me, it's natural by checking that and checking the sources and so on. The same with research that you need to, okay, you get some guidance, check that, compare that to your own thinking, how you would do things, and correct it if it's wrong, right? That's the only way it will improve. That's the only way you'll start trusted as well.
Agree. I think education is super important. Transparency and education is very important from the leader, and it starts a lot with culture, right?
Yes.
And I want to go on to one point that you mentioned, Oscar, earlier around AI adoption, where people get a little bit comfortable, right? Maybe they say, yeah, I use a lot of AI, but actually what they really mean is just cheap GPT.
Yeah.
Right? But there's so many other tools out there. What do you think truly is the blocker of embedding more of these solutions within the organization? Is it the tech itself, or do you think it's more of like a culture situation?
Yeah, I think it's more of a almost a structural situation where research is done by the research teams, right, and no one else is allowed to touch it, because then they'll do things wrong. And of course, there's a risk of laymen doing research and so on without proper guidance or the right tools and experience and so on. But I think the bigger risk when research is not being done, when you might have resources to do research on 10% of all the decisions that you make, but all the other decisions you make on gut feeling or old research that's a couple of years old, or there's some really experienced guy there in the corner who we always did it this way, so we have to do it this way. But now you can actually check those, you can validate, you can talk to users in a better way. So I think that's the biggest sort of challenge and risk. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what do you guys think? What is truly the blocker? Do you think it's a structural thing, like what Oscar said, or is it like just general culture of sharing and learning?
I can also share a bit perspective on the organization side. So think about a big company like Meta, Google, TikTok, these kind of companies. Like there are product teams, yes, and there are centralized user insights teams. And normally we would say user insights teams together with marketing teams, they're cost centers. They spend a lot of money, right?
Yes.
And these kind of organizations, they tend to be deliver the best results. Otherwise, they will be challenged. Hey, your organization spent so much money and we didn't see very good results, right? So, like in reality, like these teams are very, very careful about what they deliver, and they're very, very careful in terms of what tools they select. So are they okay with trying, like say Manus, ChatGPT, these kind of tools to help them like brainstorming, discussion guides? Yes, totally, because these tools will not break things, right? But if nowadays we tell the marketing team, the user insights team, like say, hey, just use AI moderator to replace like what you're doing, they will be afraid that, okay, what if this mess things up and I will not be able to deliver good results? Then the product team will blame me. And next year I might not have enough budgets or headcounts to do whatever I want to do. And these researchers, I respect them. They are a bunch of people that with very, very high standard. Even sure, like you guys have very, very high standard, and you want the AI tools you use. Either it's like a like a critical that you can get it for brainstorming, or it delivers very, very good results, gives you convenience, gives you control, but delivers very high quality results. Otherwise, you'll say like, hey, I'll just do it manually because I want my, like you guys have the craftsmanship mindset. You want to do it good. Same as product managers, same as like engineers, same as the designers. So I think there are many tools that it's demo level, like fancy, but not production wise ready to produce good quality enough results. That's why like there are like there's people called bubble. I mean, is there a bubble? Yes, I believe. But what beneath that is that like people are seeing fancy demos, but not actually working products to deliver the high quality results. So I think that is like one side is on organization wise, another side is there are just not enough high quality products out there. So that's our like principle and our way to go.
Yeah, I think I want to write on Davin's point. I think that's very interesting. Today you see so many AI product because I mean there's vibe coding. Right? Tomorrow I want to create an application. Probably takes me like what 15 minutes, right? So there's a lot of products going in and out, and if you're really good at packaging, you're very good at marketing. Probably you just go viral and then you get fundraising. But the intention behind that technology, there's no vision, there is no mission, there is no philosophy. I think that's one of the biggest challenge I'm seeing, and because of that, a lot of products that is very subpar is outside now right now, and it's possible that a lot of users after trying them, they generated a fear factor for you trying out new things. Right. So I've spoken in a lot of AI association and tech association events as well. I think one of the biggest future that we should be doing now is not just about training AI, but from a human perspective, we should be always questioning the output. Because AI right now is like a innocent little baby, and how we teach it, how we guide it, how we feed it will determine the type of character, the type of attitude, the type of artificial person it's going to become.
Yep.
So questioning whatever comes by is key. And I feel like we have an advantage in the market research space because as an analyst, as a researcher, we are constantly asking why. You know, we are constantly finding the truth behind each data points. So what we need to do is to really embed the idea of questioning, validation in every single product. Are we solving something, or are we just trying to look fancy?
Yeah, certainly. I think it's interesting, right? Structurally, while people might be very excited to use different AI tools, they can't really use it just because like I'm using that kind of time to go and explore what if it doesn't really work out and then kind of affects my overall efficiency. So I think because the barrier to fail, I guess is really too high, for example. So sometimes people just are more stuck in their ways, right? Maybe they rather do it themselves instead of like trying to experiment with new tools. So I think maybe writing on all of this, right? Could you give an advice, maybe like a 1-2 sentence advice to leaders out there to kind of, given that we are in a space of AI, a lot of new tech out there right now, what would you say to these leaders to kind of encourage them to consider this?
So what's the advice? And I think the main advice is try things out. Like don't just talk about it. Put things into practice, because that's the main thing we talk about. We consider, should we do this? Should we create a strategy? Just script that. Try it out, because that's what I'm doing in my work. I know how to do things and so on, but then I use AI to do it, and it comes up with some other ideas which I might have missed. And then I take that and I take this and I put it together, and suddenly it's a better output than I could have produced myself, or the AI could produce itself. But it's that really your experience, your knowledge, your domain knowledge, together with what you can get as with AI, because it's really hard for you to think about every single aspect and perspective and so on. But to get someone else's opinion and use that to really enrich your own output, that's a way of just using, experimenting. You have full control still. You can still be critical to what you get and discard that, but you can add it to what you're producing and deliver better value to your customers ultimately. And I think that's how you should evaluate with adopting a tool like yours or other tools, or going into synthetic and creating digital twins and so on. Try it out, see what you're getting, be critical, test it out, validate to other results and so on. And if it's good enough, then you start trusting it, and you can actually deliver more value to your customers. So yeah, start doing things.
That's great. So I think I'll adopt what I learned as a new grad 10 years ago from Meta. It's called move fast and break things. So actually, we are able to build this company within 6 months to at this stage, and to be so fast to product ready is because we're eager and we're bold enough to move fast. Even the organization, how we collaborate, like commercial team with engineering team, we are using the AI native ways, right? So I would say create the urgency to deliver, create the need of speed to move fast, so that every member in your team will try to be creative. Because if they follow the traditional ways, they cannot deliver within the expected time frame, right? So they will be looking for the AI tools that they can try, and at least they can try it. Otherwise, like, they won't be able to make it. And we are eager enough and we are creative enough to be trying so many AI tools, and that made us today that even in 6 months we're product ready. Think about our competitors, right? They're 2-3 years in the industry, and our product already outperforms. So I would say for every organization, just create a welcome atmosphere for every new AI product to be adopted and to be tried or to be killed in that organization. Move fast on that. Yeah.
I think for me, I have 2 points. The cost might seems really high right now, but the cost of not adopting something right now will be even bigger in 6 months' time. So it's better to move now and set some parameters than to regret later and be lagger behind, right?
Yep.
So trying to absorb everything that everybody has said today, being someone who has been in the AI governance space for the longest of time, I would say it's good to adopt new product, it's good to adopt new technology, but in order to remove that fear factor, I think the best way we can do is not just to create an environment, but also to create a set of parameters. What do I mean by that? Like rules and regulations, governance. When you adopt a new tool, make sure to double check, triple check how many layers we want to go through. What are some of the cybersecurity measures that we want to take? What are some of the so for example, if today the commercial team wants to buy a new AI solution, this shouldn't just be evaluated by the commercial team. It has to be also evaluated by, say, the AI governance team, or say the tech team or the engineers, to make sure that, hey, we have done our due diligence and we reduce the risk to an acceptable level. So in that case, the rate of failure is lower, that fear factor is lesser. Naturally, the environment will become a lot more welcoming. And then on the leader side, I would say, I mean, to my own team as well, I always say the same thing. You got to start breaking some things. If you don't break things, you don't learn, right? And do it, apologize later. If it's not too huge, it's fine. If it's not too huge, it's fine. I mean, if not, that's what we exist for, right? We're here to clean things up. That's all.
Yeah, I think the danger in that, if you're afraid of sort of risking too much and trying things out, then I think what you need to add to it is listen to the experts as well. And I think what we're seeing is that there's a lot of AI startups and companies out there, and brands are overwhelmed because they're approached every day and they can't see the difference and so on because they're not educated enough. But I think the job as sort of research professionals is to try it out, to understand what's the difference, and then recommend to your customers as well on how to adopt AI for research. And I think that's really a big responsibility on researchers to try and understand, be curious, and then be consultative to your customers on how you can change your and stay relevant yourself as well, being on top of it, because brands and end users, they really respect the practice of research, right? And they look at professionals to give them recommendations. And I don't think that will change, and they will just stop talking to researchers and just pick up the newest sort of AI startup and start using that instead. No, they want someone to actually give their sign of approval that this is something that's working and producing good results for us.
Right. And I also have one small point to add on. It's about product onboarding. So if you think about nowadays, many AI products, because it's not mature enough, so the product developers, they just present the product as a text inbox. And they're claiming that, hey, just input anything and our product will do anything for you, right? But the difficulty is that there are many scenarios that the AI product users do not actually know what they should input, or at least they do not know how to input their request in a correct way or in a guided way, right? That also creates a lot of intellectual barrier or difficulty for a normal user to adopt a so-called versatile product, but very hard to onboard. So that is another considerable factor that we design our Cookiy AI product. We want product teams, user researchers, agencies, product managers, they can comprehend this product the first 10 seconds when they see the product. That is our philosophy, and that is also our call out for all the product teams that developing AI products, for all the professional or consumers in the world, that product onboarding is super important. Think about the products I was working on: Instagram, Tencent products, TikTok. These B2C products are so frictionless when they onboard, especially new users, right? That is super critical for any B2B product and B2C product, especially prosumer products, AI-powered products nowadays.
Thank you so much, guys. I think just to kind of wrap up also the session, I think you guys share a lot of really good insights. There's a lot of opportunity cost, right? When you kind of stay in a very comfortable space, we should also give leaders and, signal to leaders that we should experiment more with tools. It may not be the right thing, but you got to try different things to know what's right for you. It's not like just a magic solution. It's not the first thing will kind of be the right fit all the time. So you got to experiment a lot. And I think I would say education is very important, right? I really like what you said, Davin, right? It's supposed to be very easy to use, frictionless, right, if you will. And that's what we also want to do at our current company. I guess any final words to kind of wrap up the session, since we've already covered so much on AI and market research.
No, I think definitely. I think we all can agree that sort of the behavior and how we do research is changing, right? And it will change. I think there's a lot more possibilities with contextual information, which is qual, which is getting back in. I think there will be sort of hybrid type research being done. It will be sort of a quant piece, maybe a qual piece, or that will merge, and then synthetic as well. And then I think what that boils down to is what we're doing is that we're creating a better user experience and responder experience, which has really been a challenge in the industry because it's been really boring taking those 30-minute matrix surveys, which we all have done. And I think it's more engaging now when you're talking to an AI, but still it listens to what you said. It asks questions which is more relevant to you based upon sort of the responses you've given and so on. It becomes a lot more sort of natural experience talking that. So I think it really boils down to respecting the response in the right way and treating them in a good way. And then also, I think with the possibilities, you can drive even more insights if you train the AI with the qual that you're creating to create sort of more sort of twins where you can do simulations, where you can really try these things out. Then you can bring it back and validate for the AI. So I think the things I've seen from you guys is really impressive, but I think really the future as well. So I'd like to see what will happen in 6 months to a year and so on, where you are, where the industry is, and how people are adopting these things.
Yeah, cool, awesome.
Yep.
So yeah, we have the philosophy that we want to build very, very frictionless products for all the professionals in the world, so that in the future, think about it, you have vibe coding and vibe design, so that you can create a product within 24 hours and GTM ready, right? But the difficult part is that what product to build, what section or verticalize the users to serve. And for that, you need to understand your targeted users. And for that, you need ideally talk to them to understand what they're currently using, what their pain point is, and how to serve them in a better way. So that we wanted to create this verb called vibe research, where you can actually talk to an AI so that the AI could, on behalf of you, to talk to all the targeted potential users that could adopt your product, so that you know where to go, what direction to move on and to aim at. So that is our philosophy. And adding on to that, think about our name, brand name, Cookiy. In the MarTech world, Cookie, cookies, this is meant to track users, but only on behavioral level. You only know users like on a website, how many seconds they stayed, what areas they clicked, bounce rate, those kind of behavioral like informations. But you never understand why they're doing that. So that's why we're creating the name Cookiy with a Y, because we try to understand why user is doing so, why they're thinking of that. On the other hand, we're telling the respondent communities that your voice does matter. We want you to feel free to share your voice, earn your cookies. The world needs your feedback, and we guarantee that we, Cookiy AI, as a bridge, your voice can be successfully delivered to the product teams, to the product builders, to the enterprises, so your voice can actually change the world, change the product for you and for your kind. So that is our philosophy. We want to be the bridge. We want to be the cookie for everyone.
And just last point to write on. I guess the why is really about, I mean, it aligns with what researchers are doing. Validate, revalidate, validate again to uncover the truth. And ultimately, it's all about coexistence and not about a replacement. How do we enhance the industry? How do we enhance the researchers? And our goal here is really, I mean, I said this many times, really to become the Iron Man suit to that Tony Stark. And you can see us like a mini Jarvis.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome. Thank you guys for the session today. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. I really thoroughly enjoyed it myself.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
Thank you.
All right.